Tonight on The Sharp Reality, my live streaming has been disabled, but the show must go on. Tonight I'm going to talk about the myth of unconditional love, plus why women should not be permitted to judge boxing matches between men, and I address an idiot commenter. The Sharp Reality starts right now.
Previously on TSR Live.
Strippers blow... Listen, I've seen it with my own two eyes, man. Strippers blow their money on cocaine, expensive liquor, drugs, expensive shoes, and all that. I mean, all that dumb shit, depreciating assets. Dude, one chick these girls knew used to party with us sometimes got hooked on heroin, and she was fucking bad off. But the point is that there's always someone to bail them out if they get in trouble financially, and that's why they never save money.
And now your man, Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this Monday evening edition of The Sharp Reality. This is not TSR Live tonight. Obviously, this is pre-recorded because my live streaming's been disabled, apparently because I violated some sort of community guideline, but I ain't tripping. I appealed it. If I win the appeal, great. If not, that's fine too. It's no big deal. I've got some things in the works that will allow me to continue to bring you guys quality, solid quality content without having to worry about any sort of censorship or watering down my content out of fear. So we'll see what happens from here. In the meantime, guys, subscribe to my newsletter. At the bottom of my homepage, thesharpreality.com. My homepage is under construction right now. We're actually trying out some different software from some different software companies, getting the free trials and making our decisions from there. So don't mind the crap on the page, the under construction stuff. You can still go to the episodes page and listen to all episodes on SoundCloud on the episode page. You can still bookmark the Amazon link, and of course you guys can sign up for my newsletter, which we will use to stay in touch should my channel be taken down, which at this point is a very real possibility. I hope that doesn't happen, but if it doesn't, that's not going to be the death of Donovan Sharp. You guys can definitely count on that. So make sure you guys sign up for my newsletter to make sure that we can get a hold of you guys in case the worst case scenario happens, so that we can keep the train moving. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody got some rest, some relaxation. Maybe you were productive, got some shit done that you needed to get done. Either way, it's great to be in tonight. Hit a milestone this weekend. Hit 2,500 subscribers over the weekend. So my thanks to you guys for subscribing to my channel. My target goal is to hit 3,000 by the end of this month. So be sure to subscribe if you guys like the show, or forward my show to someone that you think could benefit from watching The Sharp Reality or TSR Live when my live streaming gets enabled again. Made a couple of appearances with O'Shea Duke Jackson over the weekend. Had some really good content, some good interaction with the audience. Talked about long-distance relationships and why they are a bad idea. I've never endorsed long-distance relationships. Talked a little bit about my backstory, about how I found the red pill, how it's changed me as a man. So you'll definitely want to check those episodes out. Do a search for O'Shea Duke Jackson, and you'll find his channel with my appearances. My Eagles they lost to a good Chiefs team yesterday. It was a good game for about 3.5 quarters or so. But then Kansas City took over and put the game over fairly quickly with that Kareem Hunt 50. It was either a 51 or 53-yard run. We had a chance to tie it up late with a Hail Mary, but Kansas City pulled it out in the end. The Chiefs might be the best team in football out there, even without Eric Berry, so we'll have to see how the season goes for them. But, I mean, they are as good a football team as there is in the league right now, and Alex Smith is easily playing the best football of his season. It probably has something to do. He's always been sort of a dink and dunk quarterback, never took too many shots down the field. But the Chiefs moved up to number 10 in this year's NFL draft to pick up Pat Mahomes, who a lot of people are comparing to Brett Favre. Gunslinger, takes a lot of chances, which is quite literally the anti-Alex Smith. And the word around the NFL streets is that Alex Smith is not long for the Chiefs. I think they even did an interview with him this week that, they asked him, hey, do you think this is going to be your last season in Kansas City? And he said, yeah, it probably is. So he's going to let it all hang out, increase his trade value, maybe sign a new contract and continue playing at a high level. Patriots rolled. Brady had a big game, and surprise, surprise, Gronk might be hurt again. Doesn't look major, but you guys know Gronk is always nicked up. So, looks like New England's back. Looks like they're back, at least for the time being. Triple G and Canelo ended in a draw, which was a fucking joke. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, so stay tuned for that. I'm also going to tell you guys once and for all that unconditional love is an absolute myth, and I'm going to back it up with the one reason that people seem to be overlooking. But I'm going to start today's show by calling out a commenter of mine who not only told, a commenter of this show, who not only told on himself, but also attempted to virtue signal, if you guys can believe it, in terms of female preference to make himself look like the kind of guy whose raw male desire seems to be different from others. So, commenter Radio Flyer, who is on your screen right now, said of episode 115 entitled 8 Signs She's Using You as an ATM, this was this past Friday, he says, quote, Donovan clearly has a bias for ridiculous size fake boobs and blonde chicks. The 2 cheap-looking chicks in red bikinis didn't even approach being, quote, beautiful in the face, especially the first one. Amanda Lee, blonde in leg warmers, I imagine, is nice, though. The brunette, the fourth girl, who's only, quote, kind of attractive, is Jessica Canissalis. She is/was a bikini model and former Playboy playmate, but she couldn't make it as a sugar baby? Come on, dude! End quote. Now, a few things here that I'm gonna go ahead and get to call this idiot out here. First off, newsflash, Radio Flyer. We all have a bias for ridiculous size fake boobs and blonde chicks. These women elicit male desire, meaning we want to fuck them. And every man would, including you. What you're trying to say is, I wouldn't fuck trashy women like this, for my taste in women is sophisticated and exquisite, and I would never stoop to such depths for sexual intercourse with such a female. Get the fuck out of here, man. You're just like the rest of us. You know what? Tell you what. See these trashy bitches on your screen, okay? See this woman? Yeah, she's a trashy fucking hoe. She's got on the Confederate flag. She's got a fucking tattoo on her arm. Her notch counts in the triple digits. You'd absolutely fuck her. So would you, and so would everyone watching. This bitch right here, she's got a nose ring. She's got a decent looking face, small tits, but guess what? She's got a nice ass, a flat stomach. We would all pound the life out of this chick, and you would too. This chick right here actually has a decent looking face. Looks like she's got a decent looking midsection. She's got big boobs, and she's got big boobs, a fucking trashy tattoo on her wrist, and it looks like her breast implant surgeon was drinking because her boobs are obviously crooked in some way. Guess what? I'd fuck her, you'd fuck her, and everybody else watching would fuck her. This chick right here, look at her. Okay, tattoos all over the place. She's getting her nails done. I guarantee you this girl got fucked in the ass before she got her cherry popped. She is probably, and she's got the gauged out ear. She is a ratchet ass bitch. She's probably taken more loads to the face than a porn star. And she might very well be a porn star. Guess what? You would fuck her. So would I, and so would everybody else. This chick right here falls into the same class as the last chick. Look at all the tattoos. Look at the thigh tattoo. Look at the piercing by her eye. This is a ratchet ass bitch. This bitch probably prefers ass to mouth. But guess what? I'd fuck her, you'd fuck her, and everybody else would fuck her. Okay? Yep. Yeah, dude, these bitches look trashy. But you'd fuck every one of them, and you know it. And so would I, like I said, and so would everyone watching. Don't give me this, well, I wouldn't fuck her because, dude, fuck that. You ain't fooling anybody, man. We say all the time in the manosphere that attraction can't be mitigated or negotiated. But then we get idiots like Radio Flyer trying to save face and negotiate what he's attracted to. Guess what, dude? The cock wants what the cock wants, man. All right? The cock doesn't gauge anything else but physical attraction. The cock doesn't think to itself, oh, she's got tattoos. Not jumping in there. The cock doesn't say, oh, she can't cook. Not interested. The cock sees big tits, a nice body, and a nice ass. And so long as she doesn't have a face of a fucking man, he's standing at attention. Your cock isn't any more selective than any other cock out there. Just because you wouldn't wife these bitches up doesn't mean you wouldn't fuck them. And you would absolutely fuck every one of these bitches. Then he says something about the, quote, 2 cheap-looking chicks in the red bikini, not even approaching beautiful in the face. So he's talking about this chick and this chick. Okay? I'll show them to you again. This chick, the trashy red bikinis who aren't even approaching beautiful. Look at these women. Okay? Dude, you're not fooling anybody. Okay? Dude, your thirsty ass would try to wife up both of these bitches, guarantee. And you want to know something? You tipped your hand when you said they weren't even approaching beautiful in the face. Okay? You overshot the mark. You would have us think that you actually think these bitches are ugly, that you wouldn't. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, that's like a woman saying, oh, I'd never fuck my boss even though he's good looking and owns a Ferrari. Fuck out of here with that. Both of these chicks are hot. Their faces are included. Look at these women. They're both beautiful women. And again, you know it with your fake ass. Then he said that the brunette was, quote, kind of attractive. Dude, you are so full of shit, your breath fucking stinks, man. Nobody here buys that you wouldn't fuck any of these bitches, man. Even still, I specifically said on my show that every man's idea of beauty is subjective, and I'm going to get to that in a minute with you. But you want us to believe that you don't think any of these women are beautiful? Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, dude, you're full of shit. And Speaking of what I said on Friday, take a listen to this. By the way, guys, we're not going to get into what constitutes as beautiful or a 10. We all have different tastes and preferences, so there's no need to flood the comment section with she's not a 10 because, guys, beauty is highly subjective from man to man. So even though I told you guys, okay, to miss me with that she's not that hot bullshit, this dipshit known as Radio Flyer decided to be the one who didn't follow directions so he can perform for the audience and try to make himself look better than everybody else. And I'm not done yet. He then says that the brunette wouldn't make it. He actually questioned that this brunette on your screen wouldn't make it as a sugar baby. All right? Next time, Radio Flyer, listen to the fucking show before commenting and understand that we're not idiots. We're not gullible idiots who believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth. Then he said that I said this chick wouldn't make it as a sugar baby. This chick right here on your screen. He didn't listen to the show. Take a listen. She doesn't look like this woman, okay? Young, beautiful, long dark hair, gorgeous eyes, beautiful teeth, big fake tits. I mean, dude, look at her stomach. She probably has an unbelievable ass. But then by the same token, this woman right here could probably be, I don't know, she could be a QSB if she wanted to, but she could not be a gold. Again, this dude's not watching or listening. Radio Flyer, watch and listen to the fucking show all the way through before commenting. This dude slobbered on and on about this chick being a bikini model and a Playboy bunny, but he was distracted by the pussy and didn't listen and got the two chick mixed up, one of which he says is kind of attractive. And finally, and this is the real telltale sign here, Radio Flyer seems to know the names of all these bitches, which means he probably jerks off to them. Any dude who knows the names of Instagram models or Playboy bunnies or fake female internet celebrities or whatever the fuck they are, that's a telltale sign of a dude who doesn't get pussy, of a dude who worships pussy. Dude, I didn't know the names of any of these bitches. I just did a few basic searches for different types of hot girls, and when the images came up, I didn't know who the fuck they were or what the names were. They're all pieces of meat as far as I'm concerned, with tits, asses, and all that other stuff. But Radio Flyer here knows their names, what kind of models they are, what magazines they've posed for. He knows everything about these bitches, which means he's pedestalizing women. A man who knows the names and hobbies of a pickin' Instagram slut with a nice ass and fake tits is thirsty. And Radio Flyer is abso-fucking-lutely thirsty. Dudes like this make me roll my eyes, man. He'd fuck every one of these broads, and he fucking knows it. And if he had so much experience with hot girls, like he would all have us believe with his fake high beauty standards he's trying to convince us he has, he wouldn't be commenting on YouTube videos fake bragging about it. Radio Flyer wants us to think his taste in women is so much better than everyone else's, which indirectly gives the impression that he's been with a bunch of beautiful women. He wants us to think, hey, this guy's standards are sky high. He's experienced. He must be so experienced with supermodels and beautiful women. Fuck out of here, man. You're probably the only dude who knows the names of every woman he jerks off to. Next time, watch the video in its entirety. Next time, follow directions. And next time, don't make it so fucking obvious that you're a keyboard gangster. Somebody find his comment and reply with this video link starting at the time I started talking about him. He needs to know we ain't buying this shit, guys. It's episode 115. It aired on Friday afternoon. Find his comment and reply with this link when this show's over, when you guys get done listening. I want him to know that I know that he's full of shit.
Previously on TSR Live.
Unfucking believable. I gotta get that bug worked out. Unfucking believable. Ay. Guys like that, man, they really get me worked up. Oh, I wouldn't fuck her with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so get the fuck out of here. Like, did you see the bitch with the fucking red bikini? Like, both of them? And Radio Flyer wants us to believe that he wouldn't fuck either of those bitches because they're not approaching. Dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Fucking keyboard gangster fake ass fucks. I'm going backwards on my slideshow. Boy, I tell you what, everything is all out of whack today. There we go. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. As of 48 minutes ago, I am out of Twitter jail, so I can now tweet, I can retweet, I can like comments, I can post things, I can post videos. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Like my Facebook page, TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at The Sharp Reality. You can either do a search for The Sharp Reality or a search for Donovan Sharp. And of course, if you want to get a hold of me, you can go to thesharpreality.com, go to the contact tab, drop me your thoughts there, or you can tweet the show at hashtag TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. So, the Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez fight ended in a draw. And naturally, people are pointing to the corruption. And I would agree. No one ever really knows what's going on behind the scenes, but based on what I saw versus what the judges saw, it would appear that the fix is in. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying the fight was fixed. I'm not saying that the judges were in on anything. I'm not saying that they weren't. I don't know. I've watched, and again, I've watched hundreds of boxing matches in my lifetime, thanks to YouTube, and probably know more about boxing than most people, but that still doesn't mean that I could judge a title fight and be ringside for that and judge that accurately. Those judges know more about boxing and they've watched more hours of fights than I ever will. So I'm not going to sit here and say I could have judged the fight better. All right. I'm not qualified. They are. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But the fight was judged so closely that it leads me to believe that there could be some corruption involved, which is disappointing if there is. I mean, boxing has really taken a nosedive over the last few years, mainly because of the corruption, because there's no governing body. And then, of course, MMA coming to the forefront, taking a big chunk out of their audience. I mean, I don't know. It's boxing. I know the sport is and has been corrupt on other levels in the past, so I'm not in the dark about what really goes on behind the scenes. And again, any sport run by guys like Don King and Bob Arum for decades lends itself to at least the speculation of corruption as a natural byproduct of who those guys are, if you guys know anything about them. Well, going to the scorecard here, this is the official scorecard on your screen. Dave Moretti scored the bout and by the way, Triple G, he absolutely won the fight. He fought the better fight. But Dave Moretti scored the bout 115-113 to Golovkin. And his scorecard it's almost identical to mine. I actually had it 116-112 Triple G. Where we disagreed was the 10th round. He gave that round to Canelo. I gave it to Triple G. I thought that even though Golovkin was, showed signs of fatigue at the end of the 10th, he started the round a lot better, but he faded in the second half of that round. But even though Canelo landed more power punches in the 10th, Triple G landed more total punches, and I think Canelo's power punches getting through had more to do with Triple G's fatigue than Canelo's technique. But either way, Moretti knows more than I do, and that round doesn't make a difference in either of our winners one way or the other. We both agreed that Triple G won the fight. Don Trella scored the fight a draw, which again reeks of corruption, but the scorecard that rightly drew the most ire was that of Adelaide Byrd, a woman. Don Trella was the pink on the right-hand side of your screen. Dave Moretti was in the blue in the center of your screen. And Adelaide Byrd had the white scorecard on the left-hand side of the screen. Byrd scored the bout 118-110 to Alvarez and only gave rounds 4 and 7 to Golovkin, which is an absolute fucking joke. If there is corruption, if the fix really was in with the judges, at least Trella tried to make it look like he scored the fight fairly. At least Dave Moretti said, okay, maybe the fix is in, but listen, my eyes see that Golovkin fought the better fight. But Byrd's dumbass had Canelo winning by a landslide. 10 rounds to 2. And that's what causes me a question that needs to be asked, that's needed to be asked for a while. And that is, why is a fucking woman judging a title bout in the first place? Women should never be judging a male combat sport. If they want to judge women, let them judge women. But women scoring multi-million-dollar title bouts makes zero sense. But Donovan, she's qualified. She's judged fights for over 20 years. Yep, that's true. But Donovan, she's the only judge. She's not the only judge who's had controversial scorecards. 2 for 2. Right again. But there are 2 major reasons females should never judge males in a masculine combat sport. Number 1, the feminine should never judge men doing masculine. They don't know shit about it. They don't know anything about it. They're going to watch whatever they want. They don't know about it. And females can be objective to a point, but they're not nearly as objective as men. Women don't make judgments based on rationale or reason. They make judgment based on feelings, which leads me to number 2, which is females are never chemically identical from one day to the next. What I mean by that, gentlemen, is their body chemistry is constantly changing. Yes, even old hags like Adelaide Byrd. 1/3 of the month, her body is preparing eggs to get fertilized, which of course is the ovulation period. All she thinks about is cock, and she's distracted and she can't focus because all she's thinking about is getting fucked in the ass by the next guy who spits game at her. Another 1/3 of the month is her body preparing itself to flush the eggs that weren't fertilized, which of course is PMS. This is when she's bitchy, still can't focus, mood swings, etc. Then for 3 to 4 days, her body flushes out those eggs, which is her period. Even after menopause, females are still all over the map with regards to their body chemistry. Now, Adelaide Byrd could have been in any number of emotional or chemical stages that females are privy to, which throws their judgment off from 1 hour to the next, man. One day she could see a dog walking and think, that's a cute dog. And then the next day she could see that same dog and complain about how ugly the dog is and about how she's pissed off that it's in its way. Women are never the same from one day to the next. So why in the world is the Nevada State Athletic Commission allowing people who aren't consistently the same judging fights? I remember seeing one study a while back, and I think I heard about this back when I first moved to Vegas. I think I heard it on the radio or something. Anyway, it said that doctors who get sued the most for malpractice were generally the doctors that people didn't like. In other words, you could be the best surgeon at a hospital, but if your bedside manner sucks, you're more likely to be sued. That's just how that's what they said. Then on the flip side, if a doctor is actually guilty of malpractice in some way, shape, or form, they're less likely to get sued if their patients like them as people, which is ridiculous. Doctors should be sued for malpractice if they are indeed guilty of malpractice. But if they happen to be nice people, they can continue to practice medicine. So we got a bunch of asshole doctors who are more effective at their jobs than most, who are getting sued every year. Then we got a bunch of inept doctors with sparkling personalities leaving rags and scalpels and syringes inside of patients during surgery who are allowed to continue their nonsense because people like them. This is what we're dealing with here with women judging men in masculine sports. Any number of things could skew her judgment one way or the other. And in Byrd's case, her scorecard was completely ridiculous. No one in the free world who saw that fight believes that Canelo won 10 of 12 rounds, except it would appear for Byrd. And if there's corruption, okay, if there was a payoff of some sort, she was the one judge who made it obvious. If not for her, we wouldn't even be talking about that. Well, we probably would. We might be talking about corruption, but there might be whispers. But dude, Teddy Atlas was all over ESPN screaming his lungs out. The guy was turning purple, screaming about corruption. So she either doesn't know what she's watching, or she saw it a different way because her body chemistry that night wasn't conducive to scoring a boxing match fairly, or she went too far trying to appease whoever greased her palms in the back room. Whatever the case may be, guys, this has to be the last time a woman scores a boxing match. I remember, you guys can look this up too. I remember Eugenia Williams, who scored the Lennox Lewis Evander Holyfield heavyweight title fight back in 99, scored about 115 to 113 in favor of Holyfield. All right? That fight wasn't as close as, well, I don't know, that fight wasn't as close as this one. Be that as it may, Lewis was the much better fighter, and everyone watching the fight knew this. Lewis outclassed Holyfield, but Williams was the one who scored the fight for Holyfield. Then when they asked her why, all she could say was, "I scored the blows that I saw." I remember the interview. I forget whether it was on HBO or Showtime, but whoever it was, Jim Lampley or whoever the hell had a microphone in her face. Like, how could you do this? Well, I scored the blows that she was at a loss for words. She didn't know why she scored the bout that way. So at that point, at least, I mean, what, did you not see all the blows? Are you saying you may have missed a couple? Women are inferior to men in every way. Physically, emotionally, financially, mentally, all of it. To think that we would have these inferior people judging superior beings in a masculine activity, in a masculine competition, is ridiculous. Then on top of that, we have to ask them to quantify their judgment objectively, and that's proven time and time and again that that's a task that they are not equipped to execute or handle. Guys, like the show, like the video. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, I'm trying to get it up to 100 likes. It's definitely a little tougher to get the number of likes, to get to 100 likes if I'm not doing the live show. But like the video, definitely like the video. Tell your friends about it. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, tell your friends about the channel. Tell them to subscribe to The Sharp Reality. Let them know that TSR Live is currently still on the tarmac because my live streaming has been temporarily disabled. It might be disabled for up to 90 days. If I win my appeal, I don't know how long they'll keep me out, but tell them to subscribe to the channel. Listen, man, the Donovan Sharp train is going to stay on the tracks. It doesn't matter what happens. So, I mean, one way or another, like I said, I'm going to find a way to get content to you guys. So make sure you guys sign up for that newsletter. You guys can find all episodes of The Sharp Reality, of course, on thesharpreality.com. Go to the episodes page. It's also available on the Google Play app on your mobile device, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and of course, right here on YouTube. So let's get to the main event here. We've all heard the term unconditional love. We hear and we see people who want unconditional love from their significant others. We see it on movies. We see it in television. We see it and hear it from our friends and our family, our coworkers, anybody we interact with on a daily basis. Obviously, most of us here in the manosphere, watching or listening to this show, knows that unconditional love is a misnomer, because we know that love, as both an action and a feeling, is extremely conditional in and of itself. Now, on the other side of that coin, some of us may not fully admit to ourselves that unconditional love is a myth. You guys are out there. I know you guys are out there. Now, there are also some of us that may know it's a myth, but don't exactly know how to put it into words, or why unconditional love is a myth. You know it's a myth, you just don't know why. So I'm going to give you the one most evident reason that there is no such thing as unconditional love. And that reason is that there are conditions to love. Gentlemen, for a quality woman, that is, and let me define quality woman. For a quality woman who is physically attractive. She doesn't have to be hot. She doesn't have to be a smoke show. But a woman who is physically attractive, a woman who understands and abides by and truly believes in traditional sex roles and conducts herself as such. In order for these women to truly fall in love with you as a man, you have to have a few basic things in place to lay the groundwork. And I've talked about these things ad nauseum. Got to be in above average shape. Got to be financially responsible. Got to know how to handle women. Can't be afraid of them. Got to be direct. Got to know how to be a leader. We all know these things. We all talk about this stuff. That's why the manosphere exists. You also have to have your woman's respect, because a woman absolutely cannot love a man she does not respect. It cannot be done. She can say, "Oh, I love Steve to death," But she's not talking about the kind of love that compels a woman to surrender to a man sexually and submissively. That's the kind of love she has for the kind of love that she's talking about with Steve. That's the kind of love she has for dudes in the friend zone. Respect is the number one factor in terms of a woman's love for a man, and it's not even close. Guys, you could have the body of a Greek god. You could have a 9-figure bank account, or you can make her squirt every day in the bedroom 3 times a day. None of that matters if you do not have her respect. Now listen, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. She might stick around because of those things, and she may stick around a little bit longer, even longer than she would with other men who fall a little short of your skills or your money-making abilities or your dick size or whatever in those categories. But she will never love you if she doesn't respect you. Now, all those things I just talked about, guys, physical fitness, financial shrewdness, the ability to handle her, bring out the best in her, gaining and keeping her respect. All of those things are, guess what, guys? Conditions. Women say all the time, I don't care if he went broke, I'd still love him. They like to post memes of this stuff on Twitter and Facebook. I love him unconditionally no matter what happens. Women say this because they're virtue signaling. They want the world to think that they love a man for who he is rather than for what he is, because the world tells them that she's a gold digger, or that she's a slut, or that she's a cock-hopping ratchet female if she leaves a guy if he loses all of his money or he gets fat. But guess what, guys? I got news for you. And I got news for you ladies, too. If females went against their true nature, which is to seek out and stay with the best men available, we'd all be in trouble. Think about this, guys. If we knew that our women wouldn't leave us no matter what, we'd lose our edge. We'd get fat. We wouldn't stay motivated. We wouldn't watch our finances. We wouldn't take care of our women and our children. Well, I don't have any children, so I don't really know how that works. But if we slack off, we would slack off. If a woman's love were truly unconditional, that's not good for either sex, guys. Women should want to stay with men who women shouldn't want to stay with men who let themselves go. We damn sure don't as men, do we? We don't want our women getting fat. We don't want them getting bitchy or complacent. Okay? So what makes us think she wouldn't go anywhere if we did the same thing? What makes us think she wouldn't go anywhere if we went broke or got fat or turned into a beta fucking male, pandering male, forgot how to train her, forgot how to motivate her, forgot how to demand her best? If you lose your physical edge, you don't deserve her. She should fucking leave you. If you lose your physical ability to protect her, she shouldn't stay with you. She should get with someone who can. What sense does it make to stay with a man who can't protect his family anymore? If you develop a gambling problem or a drug addiction, you don't deserve her love, guys. I got news for you. You don't deserve for her to stick around, because if your money is being spent on gambling and drugs, it won't be long before your finances aren't conducive to financial stability, which is necessary to take care of your family. Of course she has the right to jump ship. The one she's on is sinking. Give an example. You think Gisele Bündchen would still love Tom Brady if he got fat, lost all his money, and lost that iron will desire to succeed? Of course not. She loves Tom for what he is, not for who he is. Now, listen, he's always going to be the same person, but the minute he stops being what he is in terms of his celebrity, his net worth, his laser focus in and out of football, her love goes out the window. Think I'm wrong? She didn't get with Tom Brady until he'd won his 3rd Super Bowl. They got married in 2009 and were dating before then, but this was well after he was established as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And listen, he has now cemented himself as the greatest quarterback ever by adding 2 more Super Bowls. He stops being Tom Brady, Gisele is out. Period. A woman's love for a man, guys, has to be conditional. It's a survival mechanism for females. It has to be conditional, guys, because if it's not, everybody loses. A woman loses protection and provision, and a man ends up losing the woman. It's a lose-lose situation all around. There's no such thing as unconditional love, because without conditions, there is no love, nor should there be. I'll use myself as an example. If I stopped being what I was, dude, my girl would vanish. No fucking doubt. And she should. If I can't keep her in line, if I stop demanding her best, if I lose my ability to physically protect her, if I don't take pride in my personal appearance, if I become lazy and unmotivated, she'd check out. That doesn't make her a bad person, guys. That makes her a fucking woman. Expecting a woman to love you unconditionally is like putting your trust in mountain climbing gear, regardless of the condition it's in. All right? Mountain climbing is fucking dangerous with mountain gear. All right? What sense would it make to put your very life at the mercy of faulty climbing gear? Your ropes and hooks are frayed and rusty and falling apart, but because when you got them, they were in perfect condition and never let you down, you're supposed to risk your life based on what they are, as opposed to based on what they were, as opposed to what they are now? That's what you're asking a woman to do when you expect her to love you unconditionally. You've let yourself go in so many ways, but you expect her to feel exactly the same as she did back when you met her and you were kicking life's ass. Now, some of you guys may think, okay, Donovan, you have a point, but women do that too. They bark about unconditional love no matter what, no matter how much she weighs or how bitchy she gets. And guys, you would be right. But we expect that from women, okay? We expect women to have unrealistic expectations about how things really work because we know them to be delusional beings who've been led astray by feminism. Leave the reverse finger pointing to the women. Yeah, we know they have the unconditional love thing backwards. We know they're a bunch of fucking children. We know they're overgrown children. Okay? But we expect that from them. We expect adolescent irrational behavior from women. This is par for the course. But as men, we're not going to do the well, women do it too thing as an excuse to bitch and moan. We're men. We need to get our shit together before we can expect anything from women. Women are fucked up these days in large part because of us. I mean, let's keep it 100. We can't sit around and complain about what they are or aren't doing because we aren't too much better in terms of having our shit together. Unconditional love only comes from our parents and our pets, and a lot of times, it's been detrimental to both. Women ain't going out like that because they're not designed to love unconditionally. They're designed to survive, and in order to survive, their love absolutely has to be conditional. And that is a great thing for both men and women. That's going to do it for this edition of The Sharp Reality. Like I said, like the video, follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. I am officially out of Twitter jail. Hopefully I'll win this appeal and I'll be back on TSR Live, but for now, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening.